Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes to continue hustling. This episode is brought to you by Excite Medical and the DRX 9000, Chiro HD, Softwave, Cool Blue VA, Bridge Financial, 100% Chiropractic, Chiro Health USA, ChiroScript AI, Chiro Moguls, the Chiro Speaking Company, New Patients in a Box, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, Pro Hockey Chiros, Pro Baseball Chiros, and the IFCO. You can benefit from a full list of sponsors by visiting our sponsor page at chirohustle.com/sponsors. Links in the description. Now, let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 637 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette, and here's your host, James Chester.
So today we have the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Tara Hogan. And if you want to hear more about her program, My Birth is Magic, stay tuned for the full episode. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Today I have a good friend of mine, almost 2 decades of friendship here, Tara Hogan, on episode 637 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. If you're watching this and you find value in it, please share the show. That's a way to give back to the students that might need more chiropractic knowledge that aren't getting it in their schools. But please comment, like, and share, subscribe, whatever you guys do out there for Chiro Hustle. Chirohustle.com is the website. Just come on over, check out our episodes. I let everybody know our big why. Why do we do what we do at Chiro Hustle? Well, first things first is freedom of speech. I know that's been impeded upon, and we've never censored anyone. We know what it feels like. So we produce the truth, and that's the truth of chiropractic. We believe in medical freedom and family health freedom. Those are not the same things, but if you're curious about those, find Tara Hogan. She's going to help you out with all the knowledge in her program called My Birth is Magic. And I think that when you need to understand what the value set of having a healthy family is, you have to find a chiropractor. There's no one else that's going to give you the truth and the passion behind making a healthy family like a chiropractor. So that's my call to action for people that are listening to this segment. And then we also protect the sacred trust. If you don't know what that is, go and find it in our show notes. You're going to learn more about chiropractic than you previously did, I guarantee you. I know Dr. Tara and I are going to talk about innate in birth today. I know it's a big why for her, but we also believe in innate intelligence and universal intelligence. And we believe that when man or woman, the physical gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual. And I know that it starts from first breath to last breath. It starts from womb to tomb. It starts from conception inside of the womb until delivery, until conception, until life. And I believe that chiropractic is something that people should use from the first breath to last breath. And we also support subluxation-centered chiropractic, and quit taking it out of the schools. I'll just say that. And make sure that the kids get the education on subluxation. So with that, Tara Hogan, you're episode 637.
Wow. I think I was in the 200s the last time I did this, maybe.
Yeah, we've grown up quite a bit. So yeah, this is your second time around on the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Thanks for being on with us.
Oh, and back then I only had 3 kids, maybe.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit. I know you have one at 1 now, all the way to 16 years.
Yeah, she'll be 16 in July. All the way down to 1-year-old. He just turned 1 a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I have the full spectrum of childhood that I'm raising right now. So it's very enlightening.
So talk about that a little bit, creating a chiropractic family, because I know your husband's a chiropractor too. So what does it mean for you to have created this life that you have today?
So what does it mean? We just truly enjoy a better quality of life overall. And I really am seeing it a lot now in just like sports performance with my older kids. the amount of injured kids during a season is insane. And, it's really hard for us as chiropractors when we can plainly see like this child's gait is completely off, or, they have a hip problem because, like they're just totally imbalanced, or shoulder problem or whatever. Like it's very, very easy to see in their posture. And so for us, any inkling of anything going on, we're able to check our kids and make sure they're aligned and they just keep performing. They don't get injured. And it's really special. I think they're starting to realize like what they have, like how special it is to be living this lifestyle. I feel like they're just like, my older ones are just becoming aware of it. Like, oh, I'm in charge of my health. Like there are things I can do. I think they're learning that they can be empowered by it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that people can understand as they develop that chiropractic is it's good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, little kiddos, like from babies on up, like they just innately get it. Like they can feel it. And one of my favorite things in my practice is I work with a lactation consultant across town, and she sends me these babies who are having trouble. And a lot of them are just like super tight and strung up, and for numerous reasons. But, once I start adjusting them and they just melt in my hands, and like they just get regulated, like their nervous system's working properly, then the mom almost always becomes a patient. So I usually get the babies, and then the moms go, oh my gosh, I want that too. Like I want to feel that calm. They just see their whole persona of their baby change. And then I end up getting the mom as a patient as well.
Yeah. So I know you've been working on this Birth is Magic program. I know you wanted to kind of talk about some of the why around that. So let's tell people what this program is that you created.
So I started really crafting this program in 2020 because so many people knew I was a home birth mom, and they were like not wanting to birth in the hospital because of COVID and all the restrictions and that whole mess. So people just kept coming to me like, how do I do this? How can I have a home birth? And so I was like, I have got to get a program together. So I started working on this, and I'm just not super tech savvy. So it has taken me a while to kind of bring together stuff to put into an online program. And my patients have enjoyed this too, because I was doing a lot of in-person teaching, and then putting it online has made it so much easier. And I think easier for the dads, because I kind of require the dads are participants. And so putting it online has made it way easier and a lot easier access for people. I do want to mention it's also very chiropractic based. So, we go through like simple things of like how your pelvis expands, like why it's important to keep your pelvis aligned during pregnancy, not only just for like pain relief, but for function. Like if your pelvis is in alignment, you are going to have a way less painful birth, right? And a shorter birth, and all the nerves going to your uterus are just going to be working properly. So a lot of my program is helping to teach that to people, and just like really learning to trust that innate process. A midwife of mine, my very first midwife, told me that, and this very, very much resonates with chiropractic, but she said, your uterus is an organ just like any other organ in your body. It knows what to do. It is not broken. It knows what to do, and its job is to get a baby out. And so with that, the program's really focused on like getting chiropractic care is really important. And this is why. This is, what happens when you get adjusted, explaining the Webster technique and, how that balances your pelvis, and how you're going to get better outcomes for having a baby. So we go through, like in the program, we go through kind of specifics of that, but also like, why do you want a natural birth? Like, what is it about? Why would you want a natural birth? A lot of women are, why do I even want that? Like, it's going to be painful. Like, I need the drugs. Well, they're not ever being told the risks of these drugs. they're not ever being told, like, your body knows how to do this. And if the less interference you have, the easier it is. So, like, people don't necessarily put that together because we have been so brainwashed into thinking we need help when everything we have is enough. We are
Well,
enough.
this is old school philosophy. And this is what one of your mentors and my mentors, Fred Schofield, taught me early on. He's like, the body needs nothing extra in it. It simply needs no interference. When you clear up the interference, the body self-regulates and self-heals. And I think that that's what you're talking about when you hear it, feel like the baby chill out in your hands after you check and correct the subluxation.
Just need no interference. And that's the same in birth. It's exactly the same. The hospital system is interfering and meddling with all the natural things in so many ways. And it goes so deep. Like, you have no idea how deep it goes. All the protocols, it's messing with innate so much, and it's showing in the way our babies are being born in America, and all over the world too, but mostly here.
I was always told that birth is not a medical procedure.
It's not. I mean, and something I had learned recently, because everyone's so afraid of hemorrhage and bleeding. At this retreat I was telling you about earlier, what we were learning was after baby's born, and cord's still connected, if you don't bother the uterus and you let that placenta detach on its own and you do nothing, the body will do it for you, and you literally, like, it will deliver on its own. And if you don't, and so many times women get this fundal massage, they push on it, and then it's like they think it needs pushed out for the mother, and it's incredibly painful, and that's what causes hemorrhage. So people don't understand, like, they think we got to get the placenta out, oh my gosh, and there's this big panic and they rush it, and because of that, women have hemorrhage. And it's all divinely it's all divinely in order.
Yeah, I don't know how many people that are watching this are part of our community, and they've actually seen like an animal be birthed, like a horse, like out in the wild.
All
Like,
you watch the animals. I mean, at the Sister Morningstar, who was the wise elder midwife, was talking about the she bear. She's like, you gonna check a she bear's cervix? No. Heck no. Are you gonna take a baby away, a cub away from a she bear? Heck no. Like, nature knows best. You don't, the body knows what it's doing. And if you can get rid of the interference, then you have nothing to worry about. And that's why, chiropractic is so important in pregnancy, because when all is in alignment, you have no interference. And then if you have a home birth, when your people and your trusted inner circle is there, you have no interference. And that's the base program.
So how do you feel? I guess this is kind of a challenging question, but how do you feel like the innate intelligence of humans has been misguided with people saying that you have to trust somebody else and your instincts don't matter?
Like, who says that? Who is
Well,
saying?
that's the medical profession that they're doing, is they're teaching people that they can't trust their own instincts and own bodies, and they have to follow this certain protocol, otherwise they can't have babies.
Right. Yeah. There is such a movement of women who are trying to reclaim this, and that's what we call sovereign birth. It's from the moment we're little as girls, we're told our bodies are wrong and there's something wrong with us. Like, put makeup on, do this, look a certain way, be a certain way. Like, we're told it's wrong. So, carry that to birth. You're going to think your body is wrong. you're going to think like the intensity you feel in birth is wrong. It's intense because you're literally transporting a being from the nethers to here. Like, how can that not be intense? Like, so if you can wrap your mind around that and learn to trust yourself and really dig up those demons, because that's where it's all at. Like, having 5 babies has forced me to face demons. It has forced me to transmute and believe new things about myself. And just because I've had 5 babies doesn't mean like the 5th one was any easier. It was a whole new ball game. It was a whole new learning experience.
So how do we create a better environment then? If we're saying that the system that people are doing it in is medicalized and it's not as effective as it should be?
It's community. It's community. It's gathering women. It's creating a circle of trust and sharing stories of success, of triumph, because there is a movement of women out there who is trying to share this stuff like I am, who is, I just spent 5 days with 30 other women who are just as passionate about this stuff as I am. And we're just sharing story after story of reclaiming their body rights and reclaiming your divinity as a woman. Like, this is our birthright. Like, and it's being stripped away from us if we let other people handle it. So it's like, it's got to be a mindset shift, and it's got to be in this movement I'm part of. Women, we are working to gather women in circles and to share this.
So you're saying that the solution is to build better community around pregnant moms?
Yes. And even moms with children. I mean, it gets lonely and you think you're the only one dealing with this stuff. And when you get together with women, you're not alone. They can help you shoulder it. And if anything, I felt so held on this retreat I was at and in my shit. And it helped me to process it. It helped me to trust myself. It helped with my innate intuition.
You made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Excite Medical and the DRX 9000, Chiro HD, Softwave, Cool Blue VA, Bridge Financial, 100% Chiropractic, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, the Chiro Speaking Company, New Patients in a Box, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, Pro Hockey Chiros, Pro Baseball Chiros, and the IFCO. You can benefit from a full list of sponsors by visiting our sponsor page at chirohustle.com/sponsors. Links in the description. Now, let's hustle. Well, that's what we've done with Chiro Hustle here, is we've created a community.
Yes.
And people don't have to shoulder the responsibility of birthing a profession.
Yes. So many parallels with it, like the creation of something.
Yeah, we've created a safe space for chiropractors to tell their stories.
Yes.
And to connect with a larger audience without judgment and without persecution and without censorship, and allowing people to authentically live in their own space, but know that they're connected to a greater source, which is the truth of chiropractic.
Yes. It's all, fractal, right?
So what you're saying is that we need stronger community presence within the birthing community. And I say we need stronger community presence within the chiropractic community.
And we need leaders. We need leaders. We need people to stand up and start speaking about this stuff. I'm feeling like doing this podcast is I'm hoping it helps inspire somebody to, maybe look into natural birth or home birth, or, and that, and my mission is really like to create a healthy start for human beings, right? So like, because I see a lot of babies that were damaged by the system. So if I can prevent that, and then I can see that baby, if I can get my patients to have a better, like, or more blissful birth, and then they bring me their child just to get checked for, alignment, and throughout their life, like, that human being is going to be clear as they can be for the rest of their life. But what, like, most of my practice is damaged children, and going through just horrific, traumatic things.
Well, there's the three things, Tara: thoughts, traumas, and toxins.
Yes.
And they don't have an age bracket that they're introduced to.
Yeah. And I mean, just to think, like, a lot of these babies are being born like traumatically. They're getting dosed up immediately with toxins. And then their mom's so stressed out, they're steeped in that stress.
And then just the human connection, so artificial.
Yes. And that's another thing, I've been learning a lot about how important it is to connect and talk to your baby and look at them. Like, that develops their brain and the vagal nerve. Like, if they don't have that, then they can't self-regulate.
So let me ask you, like, on a different level, like, your course, My Birth is Magic, does it have the resources of everything we're talking about?
Yes. Yeah. So it's like, it starts out with a lot of basics, but then I am plugging in, like, all about the placenta, all about, I try to touch on all the major kind of concerns that people want to know about, what to do about preeclampsia. There are things you can do to prevent that. All about the cord, all about,
So you do a great opportunity to go topical for everybody to understand, like, what their sub interest is.
So we do like a broad, like, why. So we do a why do you want to have natural birth? How? We look at building a plan and goals. And then the what, like, what's happening? What's going to happen to me, like, in my body? Like, what am I going to feel like? And then we go kind of topical about a lot of different things. And then I share all 5 of my birth stories and kind of all the lessons that I've gotten from those. And then I'm really excited because after going on this 5-day retreat, like, I have so much more that I can add about the spiritual component. I do have a section on spiritual stuff, but I get to add so much more there, and just really, like, learning how to get all of that programming out of your head, because it's literally from day one, we're programmed by TV and our mothers and our sisters. They want, and at a baby shower, like, everybody wants to tell their horror stories at a baby shower. Don't get that. Like, let's shower the mother with love and comfort instead of, sharing. I've been to so many baby showers. It's just, like, heartbreaking. That's what people do, but it's like protecting this sacred space, and the vibration of keeping it sacred.
There's the podcast, sharing your birth success stories.
Yeah.
And focusing on, like, the positivity of the experience. And I think that all roads, like you said, they should lead to chiropractic first. And I a lot of times I'll talk to people in public. I've almost scheduled 10,000 new patients in for chiropractic. And the one thing I always tell a prego is, look, if you're under chiropractic care during your pregnancy, you're going to have a 40% quicker delivery time. And if that's interesting to you, then you should come see us. And I think that when you strike a very specific, like, resonance with somebody and you tell them the truth immediately, like I tell people with headaches, we have a 90% success rate with headache patients. Would you like to come see us? Like, we just have to get really down and truthful and, like, direct with people. And
Yes.
really, that's how people transcend, like, information and take action.
Yeah.
Is you have to give them hope.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
You have to give them hope
That's so huge. And I
instead of fear.
yeah. Oh, people are so afraid. And
Yes, that's why when the whole scamdemic came down and people were like, "Hey, you have to take this thing in order to like function in society." I'm like, "Quit shutting the playgrounds down. The kids need playgrounds."
yeah, so back.
Like, who would put caution tape on a playground? You guys are savages. Get that
Yeah.
stuff off there. Let kids go play. They don't need to be masked up. They don't need to be like isolated any further than what they already are. Like, we need more kids that are interacting with each other, and they need playgrounds.
I think a lot of people have woken up. Like, I don't think that would happen again. I really don't. I will say, I have had more people ask me, can I ask you a personal question, Dr. Tara? Are your kids vaccinated? And people are like really seeking now, and it's exciting. I really feel like chiropractic is in such an exciting stage. Because people are getting so curious and they are so sick of being and doing.
Well, over the past couple years, I've realized of doing as many shows as we do that there's a theme that comes up, and we need to have good, authentic, clear leadership.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what you're presenting today with your course is we need solutions and not talk about the problems. And I
Yeah.
think that becoming solution oriented is like my North Star project. If people follow the North Star, they don't get lost. And I
Yeah.
go back to this a lot. We don't need
Mhm.
lighthouses and we don't need GPS. If we know where the North Star is, we don't get lost. It's innate. It's like who we were coded to be, and how, people transcended societies and cultures is they knew where the North Star was. They didn't get lost.
Yeah.
They
I love.
knew that they knew that the circadian rhythm was real. That
Yeah.
like you go to sleep when it's dark, you wake up when it's light, and you go and live while the lights are on. And the
Yeah.
nighttime you hide and you sleep because that's when all the creatures are out there and they'll get you. So you got to secure yourself.
Yeah.
But if you know where you're going, you never get lost.
Yeah. And that's so true in the birth world. It's when you know that you know that you know inside your body and what is going on, then nothing can be wrong. Like that North Star of self knowledge. And just knowing it. My prayer for my fifth birth was I want to know myself so deeply that, and it wasn't like, so something bad doesn't happen. It was like more like, I want to know myself so deeply so that I can do this in an empowering way. And,
Well,
and really just to know, like I'm going to use my intuition to know what to do this as efficiently as possible, know what way to move my body, know
trust yourself.
following this instinct. And that was what we talked a lot about at the retreat is like we're instinct injured. Our instincts have been injured. They have been beaten out of us by this system. And it's coming back into your body and being observant.
Well, I think it
Really?
goes back. I think it goes back to like even when I was born. I'm 45. My mom's like, there's a mother's intuition.
Yeah.
Like my mom would always tell me that there's a mother's intuition of why I'm doing this. And I'm like, huh. As a kid, you don't understand what mother's intuition is, but you just explained that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and the fear mongering is what will try to breed it out. You have to go back and get quiet and learn to reconnect with yourself. And, I was lucky. I didn't know anything. Like, I was just like, oh, yeah, midwife, home birth. Sure. This sounds cool. It aligns with my values and knowing about innate and sure. And I didn't have anything to worry about because I didn't know what I didn't know, so it kind of was in my favor.
Well,
But yeah,
it's very philosophical that when
yeah,
you realize you know nothing, then you begin to learn.
yes. Well, and now I still feel like I have so much to learn.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this continuum.
Yeah.
And you know, when I give my talks, I've been speaking all over the place. And I tell everybody what I learned from John D. Martini is you have to give yourself permission to be great. No one else is going to do that for you. Like you
Mhm.
have to like look at that person that looks back at you and challenge that person to become a better version. And I
Yeah.
think that it's easier said that no one will do your push-ups for you. You have to do them yourself.
Yes.
And I think that when you realize that you just have to do the baseline things and build upon that, then you start to realize that you can do anything you want to and you are limitless, but you have to stick to the fundamentals.
Yes.
You have to do the basics, you know? Like if you're an athlete, you have to learn how to run, have to learn how to like, do the basics of the sport. And that's the same way when it comes to like understanding chiropractic. You have to understand the basics and then you can build upon that. And I believe the
And
same thing for developing a family for what you've experienced is, five
well,
kids and 16-year spectrum.
yeah. And the thing about basics is they're simple. Like it's simple stuff, but it might not be easy, but it's simple. And that's like can be hard. It's boring. Like to have these simple basic elements can kind of like not exciting, but it's so essential.
I'll throw one out there for people. Feed your kids real food
Oh, yes. Yes.
and don't let the kids decide on what they're going to eat. Feed them what's best for them.
Well, yeah, be the parent and
See those are things. I'm not a parent, but I
yeah,
still would instill this philosophy inside of
yeah.
a household.
Well,
Say,
and
look, real food matters.
yeah. Well, the thing is though, parenting yourself, you got to parent yourself first and
Mhm.
you feed yourself properly and then you can feed and that's hard. Like and feeding five mouths, every day is
Real food.
I yeah, yes. And preparing and planning and I'm not going to say like we're perfect, like it's tough. But, my kids will all eat fruits and vegetables. Like they're not allowed to not do it, like people think I mean, they will eat them. Like they will if you are dedicated enough to it. Like they will start doing it. It's just you have to fight for it now or fight for sickness later. Yeah.
Well, my closer for all that is if you wouldn't eat out of a dumpster, then don't feed your kids out of a dumpster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you can't expect peak performance out of kiddos if you're feeding them a diet that's not rich in minerals and nutrients and dense proteins and good quality substance. And they're not making it easier on people for the cost per quality food unit. And they're
Right.
not making it easier with the amount of toxicity and chemicals that are going into the production of the food supply. So everybody has to become a little bit more like integrated on how they feed themselves and how
Yeah.
they feed their kids.
Well, and I really think like there are I mean, for us, like a farmer's market is so much cheaper. Like in general, it's like a lot cheaper to go to the farmer's market and buy that stuff. So I definitely think there's like you do kind of like the work and put that intention out there and really like make an effort. Like you're gonna find solutions. It's just kind of being dedicated to it.
And then I would urge everybody to go pal up with your local beef producer and make
Hmm.
friends with farmers
Yes.
and get baseline on how you can harvest the things you feed your family. I
Yeah.
think these are fundamentals that people just don't talk about. Like go into Google world and find out who the local ranchers are in your area and just get to know them.
Yeah. Yeah. So my girlfriend just down the road just bought a cow. So she brings us milk every week, which is really awesome. And we have numerous patients who have farms and I mean, you're a chiropractor. If you're a chiropractor, you know people. Like you have connections. You use those. Like we have found some great people just being in the community and taking care of people. And
Well, I was once told that if you ask better questions, you get better answers.
Mhm. Yeah.
And go to source. Like
Yep.
if you want to get like the real truth, go to the source of like all operations, and you're going to get the better truth
Mhm.
because you're going to the person that knows, not the person that speaks about what they know.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
So at this juncture of our interview today, I know we wanted to talk about mamas and babies and women. I think we've accomplished a lot of that. We've talked about your program. Is there anything else that I didn't touch on with you today that you think would be important for our audience to hear at the end of this?
No, just be aligned, because you can be your best self. And when you're aligned, then you're gonna get the answers you're looking for. Yeah. So just setting those intentions.
Yeah, and I'll just close out with Dr. Tara is in the program with Monica Berger called the Academy of Neurodevelopmental Practices, and does a lot to understand from birth until
All the way.
full human.
Full human. Yeah. I mean, from fertility forward, actually. I mean, I sometimes work with mamas who can't get pregnant. We look at tweaking the diet, eating real food, getting rid of toxic, household things, all of that, and balancing the hormones with like natural things, with the basics, right? And then, we're from there, you just stay under chiropractic care and stay aligned, and all else follows.
Well, I feel like I got a chance to catch up with an old friend today, and it was really nice. Thanks for being so open and genuine and real to people that need somebody that can hold this space for them. And I'm really proud of you for following your mission and vision, and connecting all of the stars for yourself and your family, and making this all a reality for so many people that are getting care from you too. So I think it's just a really honor to see you and Michael grow up and to have this amazing chiropractic family, and take everything that you've learned through the science, philosophy, and art of chiropractic and find your own way and developing solutions for other people that don't know where to go or who to trust.
Awesome. Well, it's been great knowing you for so long and watching you grow as well. So
yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Little kids together,
Yeah, it's really cool that I feel like I didn't become a chiropractor, but I felt like I built a great community with that group of chiropractors that graduated when you guys did, and you guys became like my cornerstone to build off of. And I feel like I got really lucky with that group that graduated when you guys did, because those are the people out there leading the way now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm taking it seriously for sure.
Well, this is episode 637 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. Guys, go to mybirthismagic.mykajabi.com. And that's the course you guys want to tap into. I'll say it again. mybirthismagic.mykajabi.com. It's Kajabi. If you don't know how to spell Kabaji.
Kajabi.
Yeah, Kajabi. If you guys don't know how to spell Kajabi, it's an online platform for learning. So go find mybirthismagic.mykajabi.com.
Yes. And I do have a discount code for whoever listens to this lovely podcast all the way through. That's going to be all capital letters, hustle. And you should get, I think, 15% off.
So put in the discount code for hustle and save some money, and learn how to save some lives and make some healthier births, and create more of an impact in your family's lives and other people that might not know where to go or who to trust for their birthing needs. Check out Dr. Tara and her program. And thanks for being with us today. We're going to close out like I always do, telling everybody you're just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now, Tara.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.